Hey, Tubi friends! Welcome to a brand new monthly recap. This used to be something that came out at the end of the month. Now, I've moved it to the first Tuesday of the month. For those who are new here to Old Man Brad, this is a monthly thing that I do where I highlight and lowlight some of the watches that I had on Tubi this past month. I also do a lot of other fun things over at Old Man Brad. I got Tales from Tubi. I have other random episodes I do. I'm sure I'm going to have some football talk here soon and other said things. Just make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of those great episodes. So let's dive into my Tubi watches for the month of August. So overall for August, I watched 23 movies on Tubi. I'm going to just highlight and lowlight my top and bottom 3 this month. I always like to start at the bottom, work my way up. Starting things off, I have Blood Harvest from 1987. A beautiful young girl returns to her peaceful rural hometown to find that the house she grew up in has been defaced. Her parents are missing, and the whole town hates her father, a bank supervisor who foreclosed on many of the locals' farms. Only Marvelous Mervo, who wanders around town dressed in a clown suit with a permanent grin painted on his face, seems happy to see her. Overall, this movie just did not work for me. It was pretty odd, let me tell you that. It stars Tiny Tim as the Marvelous Mervo, and I mean, he does a great job in this role of, I mean, it really delves into mental health and other things that happen in this town, as it's a town that's just dying and a lot of other things start to happen, and there's this killer on the loose, and who's doing it, who's doing what. It just kind of fell pretty flat for me personally. I know there's a few people out there that love it. Yeah, Blood Harvest. Not recommended for me this month. All right, next on the list is Sasquatch Mountain. This stars Lance Hendrickson. A lonely tow truck driver gets caught in a deadly struggle between a pair of bank robbers with a beautiful hostage, local cops, and a monster that has come down from the Arizona mountains to eat human flesh. Another one of those films that just didn't work. There was a lot of it. It was pretty dull, and it took a long time. Like, the opening scene was really good, and then it took a while to get going, and by the time you got to the end, you were just like, it didn't matter. I didn't have fun with this movie. I found it fairly dull. I just wanted it to be over because I didn't enjoy my time, which is unfortunate because I do love Lance Hendrickson, and I always love seeing him in horror movies, and this had a Bigfoot, so I thought, this could be so much fun, but it fell flat. The last on the bottoms is Weird Fiction. Tune in and die. The Collector's Midnight Halloween Special comes once a year. Sink your fangs into 4 tales of true terror, each more horrifying than the last. So this was an anthology with multiple stories. And usually in an anthology, I mean, you do get stories. Some stories are usually better than others and such. But this one, I did not personally enjoy any of the stories in it. I just found them to be very and wanted to like hurry and get to the next story, hoping that the next story would be better than the last story. These stories didn't work for me, and I found it dull. That's why it landed on my lowlights. If you love anthology films, you want to check it out, let me know what you thought of Weird Fiction. It fell flat for me. Okay, let's move to the other side and do our highlights for August. First up is Blood Vessel. Near the end of World War II, the survivors of a torpedoed hospital ship cling to life aboard a crowded lifeboat. With no food, water, or shelter, all seems lost until an eerie, silent German minesweeper drifts ominously toward them, giving them one last chance at survival. This movie was surprisingly good. I watched it shortly after watching The Last Voyage of the Demeter, and I wanted more vampires, and this is a vampire on a ship. It was fairly eerie and creepy, and it had some good kills in it, and the vampire I thought was really cool. It did dip a little bit in the middle, got a little slow, but overall, I really did enjoy this movie and would recommend checking out Blood Vessel. Next on the list is another anthology movie, but this time we landed on the top side of things, and it is called Hilarious. Introducing Hilarious, a once-in-a-lifetime feature collection that brings together 7 of the most legendary horror comedy shorts ever made. This anthology was surprisingly good. I think almost every story in this I really, really liked. I'm trying to remember. I do not think there were any that I was like, oh, I hated that one. But this was so much fun. It was so funny. There were a couple, like there's a lunch lady one that I found hilarious even, and would highly recommend checking out Hilarious on Tubi. It is a definite add to your anthology horror list. All right, last on the list for the month is a Tubi original, Millennial Hunter, an action comedy that centers on a flawed hero with a thirst for righteous revenge against his enemies, millennials. Now, this is an animated film, and it is so funny because he is a boomer that hates millennials and thinks that millennials took everything from him, including his son and his wife, and he goes after them and hunts them down one at a time. And there is a lot of social commentary jokes in it that I found very funny. Even the Gen Xers, which that's what I am, there was a joke about how one of the characters' husbands was captured because as a Gen Xer, he couldn't adapt fast enough because Gen X can adapt to anything that in order to blend in. And I just found it so funny. It was definitely my favorite thing that I watched this past month. So go check out Millennial Hunter on Tubi. Well, there you go. There are my highlights and lowlights for what I watched on Tubi. And in the description, I link my list. I always keep a list on Letterboxd of everything that I watched for the month. You can go click that and check out the entire list of all 23 movies that I watched for the month. I'll be back with more highlights in September. Cannot wait because we're getting close. I am in the middle of hashtag 100 Days of Horror, which we will have a new update with my friend Drew coming soon. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Before I go, I want to give you a promo. Get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem on digital today. After years of hiding, the Turtle Brothers set out to gain acceptance as normal teenagers and take on an army of mutants in this hilarious, action-packed adventure. Buy or rent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem on digital and get over 40 minutes of bonus content when you buy on digital. Available from Paramount Pictures. And I will say, I absolutely loved Mutant Mayhem. I thought it was fantastic. Both my boys and I just had a blast with this movie, and I cannot wait to check it out again. Go watch Mutant Mayhem. It's a high recommendation for me. So that'll do it for another episode of Old Man Brad with my recap of my Tubi watches from the past month. Make sure you follow along online on Twitter/X. I am at Tubi Tuesday. We always do a weekly Tubi Tuesday theme, and I post my watches there and over on Threads at Old Man Brad. You can follow along and see what we're watching each week. We do a new theme every week, and I do Tubi picks once a week over on TikTok. If you just follow at the Cinema Guys over on TikTok, I give you 3 picks for the week that you can watch on Tubi, so you won't want to miss those. Coming up is a Tales from Tubi, so watch for that coming probably later this week. And then I have some other great episodes coming with some guests that I am excited to chat with. Just remember, Tuesdays aren't just for tacos. Talk to you later, everybody.